Let's now catch up with One Nation leader Pauline Hanson. He joins me from Scenic Rim in Queensland. Good to talk to you again, Pauline. Looking forward to the year ahead.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I think it's going to be a robust year, Chris, coming into the Queensland state elections in October, followed by the federal elections. Yeah.
No, exactly. Well, the Prime Minister's kicked it off in startling fashion with this broken promise. Have a look at this latest ad from the Libs, ripping them a new one.
There will be no carbon tax under the government I lead.
They've been legislated. We support them. We stand by that.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. You've seen a lot of prime ministers and leaders come and go, Pauline, in the last couple of decades. What does this do to Anthony Albanese's standing? Does the electorate forgive him for this and move on, or will he never get past it?
For a man who stated on many times, my word is my bond, and we've clearly heard from him prior to it, the tax cuts will stand. We won't change them. You will get a $275 a year tax reduction in your electricity bill. We won't touch your superannuation. Again, it's been touched. You know, the voice. Okay, I'll accept what the people say about the voice, how they vote. All legislation, you know, a majority of it, has got some part of the voice in it where it's handing back to the Aboriginal people. So Anthony Albanese is not a man of his word. He is the leader of this nation, the Prime Minister of this nation. If we cannot trust him, that his word is actually his bond, he's lost the trust of the Australian people to be leader of this nation. So no, I don't trust him. I don't trust Labor. I don't believe what they've done. And what they're doing now is putting a spin on it and blaming the coalition for not supporting the tax cuts. If the coalition, and I'll have to support the tax cuts, what they've changed it to, if we don't support it, you're throwing the baby out with the bathwater. Although it is a broken promise, you can't, allow those Australians that are struggling to get those tax cuts. So it's
I was going to ask you that.
We do support it.
So you'll back Albanese's tax cuts. So he's got your vote, no worries.
Chris, I have to, because, like I said, you don't crucify all Australians who are struggling and need these tax cuts, which is important to the Australian people. But I want people to remember what Anthony Albanese, the Labor Party and the Greens have done with regards to these tax cuts that were passed in Parliament and they were put in place. So he is a man who can't keep his word. He's lied to the Australian people, and I hope they remember that come the next election.
Pauline, tax cuts are already legislated. Surely if Labor doesn't get their new bill through, those already legislated tax cuts still come into play on July the 1st? Or the legislation doesn't work that way?
They do. But they're going to... Yeah, but Chris, they are going to get the support of the Greens, who want them to cut back a bit harder on it. They've got the support of David Pocock. I have no doubt they've got the support of David Pocock and Jackie Lambie. So therefore, they've got the numbers.
Yeah.
Why? Well, it's not in Liberals' interest to knock it back. Well, like I said, you've got to support the Australian people with what you possibly can.
Well, better that than the Greens making it even worse, I suppose. So we'll watch those machinations play out when Parliament gets back next week.